Hi, I'm John Schuyler, president of OLLI at SOU for the 2025-26 term. And today I'm joined by Tom Woosnam, who is both an instructor and also on the OLLI Council. So, Tom, I've got a series of questions I want to ask you. And the first one is, how long have you been a member of OLLI?
I joined in 2020. I moved up here with my wife Julia in 2019 from the Bay Area. And Julia is a fifth generation Ashlander, if you can believe that. There aren't very many of those. And we live in her grandparents' house. Her grandfather was Ashland's first mail carrier. And another small world story here. Bob Graybill, who is an Ollie instructor, lives in the house that Julia grew up in. So, with all those ties, we both wanted to come here. And as I say, did so in 2019. And we had a big remodel going on, and so I wasn't terribly aware of Ollie. But when I became aware in 2020, the first class I took was from Paul Steinley on nonfiction writing. And his words still echo, I have to say. When you're writing something, do you really need all those words? Can we just condense it? Can we get to the point quickly? They sometimes say you have to kill your children, when you're writing something. And it was in that class, the first Ollie class that I took, that Paul said, anybody in this class can teach something if you want to. Just apply and see if you're accepted. I had been a physics and sometimes math teacher for 45 years. And so I had some some experience in teaching, though at the beginning, of course, it was COVID days then, so one had to get used to the Zoom way of doing things. And it's always been something in me that I want to know why what we're told the truth is the truth. And the first Ollie class that I taught went along those lines because it was the Shakespeare authorship question, something that I've been very interested in for, I don't know, maybe 40 years now or so. And Ollie took a flyer on me basically that I knew what I was talking about and would do at least a halfway decent job. So that was the first class that I taught. So I think I've answered a lot more than you actually asked, John. But in case you were going to ask those questions, there's some of the background.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I was going to ask next about how long you've been a volunteer, but it sounds like you quickly went from just being a member to volunteering as an instructor.
Correct. Yeah. So when I think of volunteer, it's interesting you say that. I think of going to help set up for meetings or whatever, that sort of volunteering. And I don't automatically think of being an instructor as being a volunteer, but of course you're quite right. Yeah. So after that experience with Paul and then doing my first Ollie, I've tried to submit something every term or every other term or so. And my interests are somewhat diverse. I've done some physics. I have also done the Shakespeare, as I mentioned. And in January, I'm doing something on what's called fiat currency at Rogue Valley Manor. And again, this fits in with how do we know that what we're told the truth is the truth? There is so much lack of understanding about the way our currency system works. It's led us in a very negative direction, I think. So, along with indulging interests that I have, I also learn a lot as well. So for several of these classes, I've had to do a lot of homework in order to, well, what you should ideally do is take into account the counter arguments to the counter arguments. So if I present something, somebody's going to have a counter argument. So it's my job to have thought ahead to the counter argument to that counter argument. And so I find it very stimulating to do that. And I've done it with several of the classes that I've taught. And then at the other extreme, I'm looking forward to one that I think I'm going to be teaching in April, which is just on movies because I have always had an interest in movies. And I've called this one Anthems for Outsiders. And really, it is five movies with, I think, fabulous soundtracks. And the theme throughout is an outsider of some kind. So those five are Hard Day's Night, um, American Graffiti, Harold and Maude, The Commitments, which is one of the most joyous films ever made, I think. And one more that I can't remember now, because in any list I always forget the last one. Don't know why. Anyway, so I mention that just because it's not just the academic stuff that I really enjoy. It's nice too to sort of relax and have a fun time, you know?
Well, Tom, I've taken a number of your courses. I know I took the physics course, and I know I took a course on debt. And hearing what you're thinking about teaching, you're like a Renaissance person,
I,
because I totally agree, being an instructor myself, that to really know something or to teach something is to know something. You really do a lot of research, and you can surprise yourself as to what you find out.
and it's crucial to say, I don't know when you're asked a question. You know,
Mhm.
I learned that early on. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, that's embarrassing. Um, Teaching teenagers, the first rule is you don't BS a teenager. They have antennae so finely tuned. Because if you do that, then you lose their respect. They don't participate the way they should. And I learned that lesson early on, and I continue with it. Great question. Don't know the answer. I'll get back to you. Or another line I use, you may have heard me use it, John. If we come to an impasse like this, I can say, yeah, well, can we still be friends? And Ollie is like that, isn't it? It's such a collegial place. And I'm very grateful to Ollie, as I think I've said earlier, for giving me the opportunity to just sort of jump in and uh, submit classes that go across a spectrum, but they all fit with things I enjoy and like and learn from. You know?
So you might have already answered the next question, but yeah, what keeps you coming back, volunteering, both as an instructor and now as part of the OLLI Council? You're a
Mm.
first year director. You have
Mhm.
2.5 years to go on council.
Right,
We
right.
might see you in an officer position here one of these years.
Well, thank you. I'm still learning, of course. The approach I take, and I've done this sort of thing before, is just sit back and observe and see how or what the lay of the land is. So I'm in that mode right now. And possibly what keeps me coming back as an instructor is Ann Coleman, who keeps sending me emails saying, I want you to teach something. She's very good about that. It's very nice of her. Anne, thank you very much. And a little bit of guilt there because I do like to do something each term if possible.
Yeah, the curriculum committee that Ann's a co-chair of, they're a really strong committee, and
Oh,
they,
yes,
they definitely keep all the instructors in sight.
they do. And bringing that up, I often say to friends who are OLLI members or perhaps not, this is one of the best run organizations I've ever been a part of. And I sometimes think you don't need me. I mean, the wheels are turning very smoothly. The oil is there to lubricate them. Um, Keep doing what you're doing. It's extremely impressive. And the caliber and quality of the people on the council and the committees and so on and so forth is just top notch. And you and I have been, I'll speak for you, John, in many deadly meetings where you just you're looking at the clock all the time. That is not the case in my experience with OLLI at all. It stays on track, it solves the problems, identifies some problems, but there aren't that many to solve, in my humble opinion. It's a delight to volunteer.
So if someone you know is new to Ollie, what would you tell them in terms of volunteering? How would you encourage them to volunteer?
Um, you have an automatic group of helpful, friendly volunteers that forms yeah, a connection. I mean, that's one of our phrases, isn't it? Was it come for the classes, stay for the connections? It's so very, very true. Um, so if somebody were to say, for instance, I've got a friend who is thinking of retiring from the Bay Area within a year or two, and it'll be a brand new life for her and her husband. And the first thing I said was, look up Ollie, jump in there into Ollie, at whatever level. Um, I don't offhand know of such a welcoming organization. I'm sure there are many others in Ashland, but Ollie has those characteristics for me.
So anything else you want to share with our members that are going to view this video?
Um, a silly thing, perhaps, but an apology to the many people who say hi and greet me as if I know them when they've been students of mine and I can't remember their faces. So anybody who's in that category, please forgive me, but keep on saying hi. I do appreciate it. And one day I will learn everybody's face and name, put them
Those
together.
name tags come in pretty handy,
Oh, absolutely they
especially when
do.
they're turned the right way.
That's it, right? We should double print those, John. You should have the upper side that's blank, say seat
That's a
other
great
side,
idea.
and just turn it around. But yeah, yeah.
All right, Tom. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
volunteering for Ollie.
I enjoy it very much. Thank you.